Hello, everyone. I put a great song in the description of this, and a totally fitting song for this most glorious time for humanity and everyone as a whole. So I included a link in the description on this video for it, for an upliftment song and a very good uh, song for this time. Thank you for all joining. And what I wish to do is, I'll be reiterating about what the global people's monetary system is and just giving some more information and an update on this for everyone. So I suggest for everyone to share this information widely if it resonates with you as well. And widely, I mean globally. So, and thank you everyone, and hi for to all of you joining. So I'm going to get right into it. Uh, Simply, let's say that humanity right now, all of you, anyone watching this, and all of the global population has right at their very fingertips right now this very amazing choice that I'm speaking about. So this is global. This is not um, just for the individual. This is for every man, woman, and child. And this is the open door, the open window to solve every problem of the past upon the planet and to bring humanity into complete, immediate, and let's say instant harmony. So this is substantial. It's an unprecedented time upon the entire known history or what is written upon the planet. So we are in the full liberating stages. Nothing stops what I am speaking about. It is imminent. It is only the timing, the duration of it, which I cannot fully concretely give you how long this will take. However, what I can say, what I'm feeling, and I know many of you would attest to it as well, that what I'm speaking about in this live, this can be readily achieved and implemented, within 2 to 6 months. I can see it being done that quickly. And what it involves is just the consent from each individual uh, upon the planet. It doesn't matter about what country you're in, what race you may be, what beliefs. None of this matters. This is a generic one thing fits all. You are a human humanoid upon the planet, and this is for you. Also, the animals get included as a result of this. So, it's much more than just assisting humanity. It is assisting everything, the planet, the animals, everything. So, simply, what is it? Well, it's a whereas money it can be created by banks and governments. It's the ones that are in the governments and the banks. They are people. They are the same as you. So where they were able to create it, also you can. Now, here's the biggest thing with it. Within governments and banks, if you were to compare them to the population of the world, they're probably only a handful, all of them together. Let's say within banks and governments, let's say there's about 1 million. And very quickly, when you look at that number, 1 million out of approximately 8 billion upon the planet. So what you are seeing, the control of the money is was within the hands of about 1 million. And you can see what the control of that money had did, how it deprived many humans of many basic needs. And when you quickly look at this, you can also see, as a result of that control of money, that how it has created poverty, separation, lack, and in reality, that is totally savage, and it's no longer acceptable to this world. And for the last decade, it's been growing and growing. Many groups and many people coming together, and saying what has occurred with governments and banks and what have you, that the people's interests are not in mind. And it become very clear that also your representatives in the governments, they don't have your best interests in mind. So having said this, you don't need this million governments and bankers. They're only 1 million. You need to look at the majority, and this is how things work upon this planet. You've all been taught that, and you know the strength in numbers and unity. So having said that, with this global people's monetary system, which will be a transitory uh, tool, a transitional tool to uplift humanity into greater areas of advancement. So there will come the time in the future, without giving a date, but it will come very rapidly, where humanity will know that they do not need the dependency upon money for an exchange method. Many things will change with this. However, I don't wish to jump to the future. We need to look at this now, where we are at, and where we are able to go right now, and very quickly. So getting back, as I said, to the numbers of the people upon the planet. When you quickly look at the numbers, then you see what I'm speaking about with this unified people's monetary system, how it is a given. And when you take, let's say, children over 12, right up, all of your ages, you have let's say perhaps about 6.5 billion people. And what I'm speaking about is for every one of those 6.5 billion people. And down here, you have in your governments and your bankers about 1 million. So this 6.5 billion can create very rapidly and very strongly the one thing that sets them free, that they don't need this million or so, whatever is here. So, again, very quickly, what I'm speaking about, you have the power, each individual, each one of you is the same as any president, any prime minister, any queen or king. You are the same. They are in a humanoid vessel. You are in a humanoid vessel. All God given rights. And even if you look at privilege, there is no privilege. There's the mutual respect for each being. And it's not acceptable, especially in these times. It had gone too far that there should be someone starve while another relish in luxury and riches. And again, when you look at um, when you do some statistics with the population upon the planet, you're going to find that most are in the lower class, the majority, and the poverty class that's been deprived intentionally and denied of a reasonable life. So, what we are going to do with this global people's new monetary system is we're not going to differentiate between a banker, a government, or a politician, or what have you. We're going to give them all the same to share with them. So they have the choice to support what we as the people are doing. And really, this is a no-brainer for anyone with a good heart that is a politician or a banker out of this million to support and join this. This is the humane thing that we are doing. What governments were doing by creating lack and bankers, that is inhumane. It's not acceptable any longer. Now, with this growing, like I say, um, 6.5 billion plus people, it cannot be stopped. It's a unified force. And this is what we're doing, uniting globally, everyone together with this one common goal, this one simple goal. So to unite everyone at this time. It's so important, and to share and distribute this information with everyone is so important because this becomes their individual choice upon the planet. They do not have to vote for a government or someone to represent them. Each one represents yourself, what you wish to do. This is your choice. Governments or bankers, no one has a say in your choice to choose to stay in a government system or to choose to unite with all of the people to create this beautiful thing in this now. So it's a no-brainer with it, and I'm just scrolling down here. Uh, we're coming through pretty good. No glitches. I see Helga was the last one to comment there. So everything's looking good on my end, so I'll keep proceeding. Okay, so simply what is it? Simply what it is the people globally making the choice to create this monetary system. So by autographing, signing your consent is all you're doing to support this people's voice we are creating. So we are creating this for full, comfortable money to every man, woman, and child upon the planet. So by signing this, you need to autograph it to show your consent because this is where we get our numbers. By everyone that supports it says, yes, we like this idea, we support it with our autograph. This gives us the voice as this grows to 6 billion people. But we don't need to grow to 6 billion. We only need to grow to, let's say, 1.7 billion. And that number is a magic number because then you exceed the country in the old world with the greatest population, which was China, around 1.6. So what you do is that this voice, when it reaches 1.7 billion signatures, it becomes the dominant voice of the planet. And it's at that time that all governments must actually stand out of the way because this becomes the world power. But it's the people's power. It's the peaceful freedom power of the people. And as I said again, no government could stand against it. The moment they stand against it or try to diminish it, they become the full absolute enemy of the people. And it would be absolute nonsense for any banker or government or politician to go against it at all. So again, it very quickly separates the ones with ill intent from the ones with the good intent. And the ones with the good intent are all of the good people in their hearts upon the planet. And again, it is only common sense that we are here to create good for humanity, not create misery and separation by what the governments did with countries and the control of money that created lack, poverty, sickness, death, and separation, and so many more things. I know I'm rambling quite a bit, but this is how it is, and I'm going forward with it. And I have a lengthy list here that really I have not touched on yet. But I'm hoping, not hoping, I'm doing it. I'm being pretty thorough here, to get this point across to even a child. And if you have children 12 years old, 6 years old, please let them watch this to see if they understand what I'm saying, and which is absolute common sense. So all we need to do, again, is just unify our voice, and it's done. Nothing stands against the people. This is full peace, it's full harmony, and it's full comfort. So, again, getting back where you had banks and governments, a million, creating the money for the people, but only giving them what they wanted, by the people creating their own money all together as one voice, then everyone has the same. And by doing this very quickly, you uplift the vibration of the planet. You uplift the consciousness, and you uplift the good things, because you are doing so many things by doing this that is substantial, that advances humanity forward, working together. But also by the people joining together, the bad players and ones, that wanted war and governments, to control their people, they no longer have any power. They're gone, and they will not be telling you what to do, how to do it, and saying, "Oh, you only can have this little bit of money." So again, it has to be done. It's being done now. It's imminent. So very simply, once the people, we reach that certain figure of 1.7 billion, we have that voice to put right to every other thing that is lower as a power structure in the world. We say, this is it. But during this time, to get to this 1.6, this is going to virally go, that very quickly your number's just going to poof, poof, poof. Because any human being that has a consciousness, that has any bit of logic sense, is going to support this and do this all together. Now, also, when you have billions of professionals, which, not billions, but let's say millions, or we could say a billion of professionals that are part of this, everything works so fluently. You have a massive think tank that there are no problems. There are solutions that you never imagined before. But we need this initiation point to open this beautiful thing up for humanity. And this is the initiation point at sharing and spreading and purveying all of this information to show every person and child upon the planet that simply by us just all joining together to make the one voice, then we have this beautiful freedom option. We not only have this for ourselves immediately, perhaps within 2 to 6 months, but it also sets the timeline, the new reality for all of your children, that they are free, that we are free. They are not growing up in a controlled society and controlled by money, which has them starving and looking for where their next food will come from, or working 40 years of their life just to become sick. You know, the mundane and the monotony is fully taken out of it. So, simply saying it, yes, the people can create this money that quick. The same way that uh, governments and banks created the money. But when the governments and banks created the money, what they did, they put a trick in and they said you needed to have it asset backed. You don't. That is myth. You do not need asset backed. That's what they wanted to control you. You don't need any asset backing. Just because you exist with all of the others, we just decide to create money unlimited, as much as we want. We don't need anything to back it because we're just going to create the free money. You do not need to control it by having an asset backed. Anything now with one's creating an asset backed um, money, really, it is finite. It's finite because they control the value of what it's based on. Like, let's take gold, for instance, where they have the financial markets, which are not a part of this system any longer. They control the price of the asset, which controls the amount of money. This is why we take the assets backed, asset backed backing right out of the equation. You do not need it because the moment you have something that is backing a currency, it is controlled. So we're taking the control completely out of it. You do not need it. Everyone standing together when we say no, we create the unlimited money forward, and you don't require any limitations on it whatsoever, like having it asset backed. That is actual nonsense. It is primitive to even think that you need anything to back your currency once all of the people decide. Now, with the with this new system, as the people, as we create it and activate it, I should go back a little bit. The technology for the simplified system is globally here. It's already here. The banking system, uh, and the world technology already has it in place to disperse funds initially and to keep a disbursement of money for this new system while you're still transitioning out of the old. And this is the reason why we're using money, because as you're quickly transitioning this old, you will be doing it with money. So every bit of money, if you're a rich person now, every bit of money that you have, it's still good. It's honored in the old system. However, what we are saying is that everyone has a comfortable amount right now in the beginning. So if you have more money, you can buy things whatever you want with it. We're not taking anyone's old money away. What we are just actually doing is making one new money for everyone, though, that they're not controlled by it. So it levels out after we get going along. But those of you that may be rich and anyone that has savings, it's all honored. But what you're going to be doing once we have this new system, you're going to be just spending that money for whatever temporary products or services that you must pay for. So, it's all honored. You're not losing anything. No one is losing anything. Everyone is gaining. This is the thing with it. So there is nothing to lose. And when you go and give your autograph or your support to this, that's what it is. You are just consenting that you support it. And it doesn't mean that you're leaving the old system. You're still part of that old system functioning until we transition fully into the new system. So you are giving your consent through your autograph for the new system to go forward. Then this is the press. It is the absolute. Then the old system, the way it was, transitions out to fit into the new. Woohoo! It's very good, as you can see. And it is quite simple. For ones of you that may be feeling, well, I don't fully understand this, I don't know how this can be. Uh, for you ones, please just, if it feels right, we keep it as simplified for you to look at. And if it's, again, something you just want to sign a petition and say, yeah, I support that, then that's all you need to do now. But also, what I can assure you is that what we call the higher consciousness beings that are above the intellect and intelligence of the governments and many of these things, we are also parts. There are some that are within the governments, that do have the high consciousness that may be taking administrative roles. But what I'm to say to the common person is that we are higher consciousness. Humanity has evolved to what you could say as more of a super consciousness. And the ones that will be leading and taking this forward, what I'm speaking about, are these higher consciousness leaders. And we have at our disposal to take this forward everything we need. We have the top technology, we have the top consciousness, we have the top logic, we have the top conscious sense. We have all of these things and much more up here. That's what's above the ones that were representing and ruling you, the barbaric governments, dictators, tyrannists, and what have you. So what we are is we are peace, harmony, empowered, highly conscious individuals that are here to take this forward. And it cannot be put back into the hands of any select government or select group. This is by the people, and it's administered with many administrative committees around the entire planet as we grow. And this is the people, and decisions will be made from the people, from referendums, not from voting. None of that voting way like in the past with different parties. None of that works. It's all garbage. It was all part of the game to keep you entrapped in a constant battle and false hope. All of your governmental systems were false hope. This, what I'm speaking about, is more than, it's a real hope, but it's more than that. It's a reality, what we are creating very rapidly. So it's a beautiful hope, yes, right now, but it's a reality. So we are building it. So meaning that it's more than a hope. It's what we're bringing into creation. Okay. So simply, again, the people just create, we create the money altogether. It's what we decide to create. And once you have 2, 4, 6 billion people deciding this, nothing stops it. So that's why it's simple. And simply what we are proposing now, what we are initially putting out as this plan to show the people, is upon the voice of the people being there, and the banks and the governments have to come online to assist with this, the total planetary technology, we will be interjecting well, I won't say interjecting. We will be giving to each man, woman, and child an equivalent of right now to $10,000 US. So, boom, every man, woman, and child. And what this initial um, release of funds to you is. We need to keep a little bit of control on this, and this is why it's unlimited. However, incrementally in the beginning, it needs to be released so everyone just don't stop society. So there needs to be a little bit of a control with this. So there is that condition and catch. But what it does immediately, you could see the impact globally, what that's going to do. Everyone, even at this point, while I'm speaking about it, and as you share it, and as this goes viral, that this is what we are doing, even this substantial uh, reality we are creating by those becoming aware of it is causing a considerable higher upliftment and shift. So very quickly, it is changing the world. Is what we're doing too with this. Now, getting back to that last train of thought. Um, so yeah, so $10,000 initially. We need to put a little bit of control and condition upon it because, as I said, it would get wild and chaotic. So we need to control by, let's say, giving everyone 10,000 equivalent, 10,000 US, so that they go to the existing um, stores and what have you, and get their basic needs, get their comfort, get a little bit of a temporary comfort as we transition further along. But to also do this, we need to put in the beginning a requirement that there's so many hours that will be contributed to community. And with this, very quickly, because you're going to have irrelevant industries like the huge financial industry with the trading markets and what have you. Currencies will not be traded. This currency will not be traded. There is no debt with it. There is no tax. There is no interest. There is no profit or gain. It is only a forward opening free flow with it. So what you have within your society, even your insurance industry, you no longer require that. So you're going to have many that will no longer uh, be in those jobs, that can take administrative jobs, leaving humanity forward, in your governmental departments, which your governments used to be the biggest employers. Actually, a lot of these jobs are no longer needed within the bureaucracies, the agencies, um, and the different levels of government that you had. So the way that they controlled things, especially with fees, permits, registrations, none of that, you don't need it anymore. So there's going to be many jobs that will be eliminated and transitioned, but ones that have those skills, will contribute to the new reality. And to do that and to assure that there's a smooth transition, we need to put some little measures of control and condition upon it. However, it is still the full freedom beyond everything they had before, and it keeps building, as we keep going forward. And it's easily achieved. At this point, don't anyone please be projecting any negative any negativity into it, like going what ifs and all of this, because that does not apply. You have a formidable force of all of the people working together with the one harmonious liberation. So please don't bring negative things in there, because again, you have a huge think tank that has a solution for everything. So there are no problems. There's only the absolute and total full solution. So we need to get this initiated and we need to get it started, which it has already begun. Um, so keep purveying it outward. You have nothing to lose. You're just putting your autograph signature on that. Yeah, you consent. You wish to support it, and that creates the voice. So you're not sacrificing nor losing anything by supporting this. You have everything to gain. Everyone does. So So with this new system, any of you that are conscious leaders, you know that you've been prepared divinely for this time because this has been all part of the divine plan. It's been orchestrated, and many of you have been uh, trained and uh, made knowledgeable on many easy transitional things, and you know how to be administrators, ambassadors, whatever you wish to call the leaders, to assist in leading all of humanity to come forward, but keeping, everyone in growing the full committees, what you need to, so that we assure every human, uh, all of humanity has everything they need, with villages to make sure that the supplies and monies get in there very quickly to buy supplies. If that's still part of that area, to assure that we have all of the advancements in housing and what have you. So we need leaders. We need the ones, it doesn't matter if you're a full, at this point, it does not matter if you're a fully awakened one, as long as you can understand the simple logic of what I'm saying, your qualities and leadership attributes, can go a long way in taking this forward. So, no one, any one of you, do not be afraid to step up to the plate to assist, and it's for the intent is for the good of all, and this is what occurs with it. This is not selfish, it's everyone joining together for all. So any with we do need those. I would like to say at this point, ones, I'm beginning to get more of a list together of ones from different countries, which are uh, right now are being representatives to begin to get disperse the word, disseminate the word out and through the countries, and get a few more together, grow your teams, your administrative groups to get the word out and to get information out as well. We need to reach everyone, and word of mouth, social media, whatever way, get the word out. Because also to begin to gather the signatures and autographs, I anticipate having our petition uh, site up very shortly. I know I had said about a week ago I had anticipated a day or so, but we were so busy and evolving things as we go forward to create it the most efficient. So it took a little bit longer with this. However, it is very close. So a day or two, I anticipate. And as we put the information, it will be under, we need to say it's under construction because we will evolve and adjust things as we go along with the website uh, to perhaps give a better understanding for ones what it is. So whatever assists all. It's the intent to assist all humanity, but to keep it pretty clear and simple so they know. So we'll have this up very shortly. And right now, any of you on Facebook, and we're expanding outward, but on Facebook initially, I have the group, we have the group. It's identified by Rick George's Global People's New Monetary System. And I put Rick George, I put my name in front of it for the reason so that anyone watching my lives um, so I put the we had the group on Facebook. We have it, and initially it's under Rick George's Global People's New Monetary System. That is the name of the group. And if someone's watching, please put it in the comments, the link to that group. It's important right now to uh, go into that group. It's a public group. Even join it uh, to get some information, and we'll be releasing some of it there and also the website. So we're trying to keep the information condensed but simplified so that we don't inundate the information and don't overwhelm you. So we wish to keep it as clear as possible and as simple as possible to make the choice so much easier for you. And this is what we will be doing. Also on there, there is a question and answer post um, where many have asked questions and I answered them in that group. And to so those are beneficial as well. So if you have a question, you may wish to just scroll through people that might have already asked the same question, and you can see what my reply was to it. And I am very busy, and this would save me a lot of work. Out of my heart, I wish to assist all individually, but there is a certain a certain amount that I also can do here. So you assist me, you assist all of us by looking at those answers there so that we can keep constructing the new and taking everything forward for everyone. And having said this, please, on Facebook Messenger, don't people be sending me videos of things and things that are not relevant to us going forward. I don't look at the YouTubes, I don't have time, and especially a lot of things that is going on with the lower timeline with in America. I don't look at that. We're here to create the new. So uh, Femke has been keeping up on that. We do monitor it. So I should say I do look at it a little bit because I need to look at it as a gauge of what's occurring. But I don't put a lot of emphasis or focus in there. So, um, so with this, as I said, all of you spiritual teachers, ascension teachers, intuitive coaches, all of you that are out there, now, all of you instantly understand by humanity just being aware that they have this hope, that this is occurring now. Just by them knowing that, it immediately lifts the stress level off of them energetically. So you can see how substantially this is beneficial in assisting any, with stress and all of this, just by knowing that there is a real hope that the misery now is not prolonged, because many uh, the stress caused by money, the depression, this has created the sickness. But now that they know that this is all very real, what we are doing, it alleviates that. And very quickly, because that stress is alleviated, the veil is uplifted, that their consciousness is then more open to receive and propel them very quickly forward into their empowerment and their strength. So again, the stress from the control of money kept the veil intact, that you can't think. Your head is cloudy, you're roped into the old program, the routine, getting up, going to work, come home, eat, get up, go to work. But what this does, it alleviates that stress, that you don't need to be focused on making money to survive. So then very quickly, poof, upliftment. So it's also important, all of you spiritual teachers, coaches, what have you out there, spread this word, and it's very important as well for humanity. And especially at this time, we're so graciously given divinely this lockdown that's been going on for the last year. So, in all of your intense lockdown curfew areas, it people are going to be, on the internet more. They're going to be more available to get this information. So, this is the most uh, glorious, opportune time to get this important information out to them while they're sitting at home. And also they can do some more of their research. Most of them, I know, you were giving them the truth, spreading that out, the digital warriors of everything that was transpiring. However, the truth is all out there everywhere, that if they haven't seen it yet, eventually they will. But now's the time to give them this great hope to go forward to, because that also diminishes uh, the old past as we create this with vibration. So it's a great time, opportunity to begin giving this, to everyone, saying, hey, look, you really do have a choice, but it takes this commitment of just autographing it and signing it. It doesn't cost you anything, but it can gain you everything by doing it. Everything for you, your family, your children, the whole future. So it is so important. Um, okay, so yeah, the lockdowns. It's an excellent time to get this message out. I'm just reading my paper. Um, and as I mentioned, we need to sign because we need to have a material record of the voice as well. To say, hey, we're not kidding. This is the people. Here's the voice. Here's everyone that consented to it, and it cannot be ignored by any governments, banks, or any other humans that don't believe it. And also, when you have a substantial number of, a billion or two, even ones that are not awake, once that comes under their nose, they're going to say, okay, there's got to be something credible with this, something valuable, or you would not have a billion people supporting this worldwide. This is substantial. And then very quickly they get the information and say, yeah, I'm going to put my John Henry, my autograph, my signature on it. So you can see exponentially very quickly how it, it it takes place. So again, it's imminent in this time, and this is what it requires. The just uniting the voice, gathering the signatures from all of the groups that have been out there, uh, all of the global groups that have been working on sovereignty, autonomy, the self empowerment, all of these groups at this time. You need to connect all together. I'll be the connection point as we expand outward. So I need to hear from all of you. Any of you watching that is part of a group that has not heard about this, please have their leader of that group or the administrator to contact me so I can give them some quick information, get connected all together as we create this huge network. So we need this, we are in the stages of this connections. So please distribute this far and wide to all of the biggest groups. If any of you are watching, I'd like to be directly connected with David Icke, David Wilcox, Sasha Stone. I wish for them to connect with I have made some attempts on my own. However, with these more prominent figures, it becomes a little bit difficult in the old ways to make that contact. So I'm putting the word out, asking for assistance for them to please connect with me. It's easier because I have everything open for them where they have things closed, in their emails. They will, um, for example, they say, there's a couple thousand emails. We don't look at them all. They have an automatic scripted response. They don't see what I send. So this is important. I'm asking for any of you that have direct contact to those, Michael Tillinger, and others, please get the message to them to connect with me as soon as possible. And also, Kim Gogan, I believe her name is, or Kim Possible, they called her, Tank, have them connect with me. Charlie Ward, I want to see all of the prominent alternative bloggers and video YouTubers. I need them to connect with me. It's too difficult for I trying to connect with all of these individuals through the primitive means. So any of you that's watching, you got a direct contact, pick up your phone, say get in touch with Rick George now on Facebook at least. Thank you. So yeah, so we need to get this into all countries. As I mentioned, it's going into uh, China, Russia. We're beginning to get it into those areas, India, of course, and all over the world. So we need to get it in more to all of these countries. So please keep disseminating it, and they can get in touch with I. Thank you. Um, so at this point, I need to say that what we are doing is above the sovereignty that many of you were establishing. You needed to do that. This is above Nasara and Jasara. This, what we are creating, is the absolute. So with Jasara and Nasara, whatever is going on with it, if it is, it doesn't matter if it's there. It's only a transitory thing, and it may not be there very long. It's better to energize this, which is the full freedom. There is no taxation like what was written in Nasara Jasara. There is no control given back to like governments to be the representatives. There's things, Jasera and Nasara is actually primitive. Also, within the Constitution, we cannot, this is very important. Any past written legislation or constitution, any past written papers that are not uh, divine sovereignty, they are of no use. All of your constitutions globally, that you need to look at who wrote them, when they were written, but you also have the overriding judicial systems, which restricts them. So, therefore, instead of wasting a lot of time on looking at your constitutions, looking at your laws, you need to know the whole legal system globally was designed to control and restrict you as well. So your constitutions were given to you as an illusion, saying, oh, okay, you've got your human rights, you've got your constitution, but all of you worldwide, as a result of the last year, is seeing that it's not fact, that your constitution, in reality, the only ones to enforce it, the only ones to enforce the Constitution is the people. And when it comes to the time that the people has to do it, it enacts the people's divine and sovereign law, the divine common law, which is above any law. So it shows you that it's time for all of the constitutions and all of anything that was written to go. No one needs it written that you have rights. These are your God given rights. It doesn't need to be written anywhere, it's accepted. So, having said this, this is why all of everything is invalidated. International law, your individual country jurisdictions, the legal systems, it's all invalid. And at this time, because of what's occurring, any of the police that they're out there giving tickets or pressuring and enforcing you, they are actually breaking the people's law. And what's occurring here very rapidly is, there is a form of justice that they will themselves see here if they're not seeing it now, which many of them are because they are leaving the police forces and in the military, the latest in Canada. They're realizing what they're actually doing. They are actually breaking, the laws, but they're breaking morals and ethics. And so the longer any police or military stays with a government imposing these restrictions, the further the individual is incriminating themselves for the future because the people are awakening, the people are building this future. So any police that are doing these things now, they're actually judging themselves. And not only that, they're judging their families. So you're seeing more of the police getting their conscience. They are seeing, at least in their conscience and in their heart, they cannot be supporting these things. So very quickly, you're seeing this occur as well. Um, so what's happening in the U.S., and this is for the U.S. people. At this point, it does not matter if Trump is really in there or Biden. What matters is we have the people. This is above all of that because this voice is bigger than any of it. Trump is very important at leading, at showing you many things what was wrong with the old system, how it was illegal. But with Trump, this has to converge in to what we're doing, the good people, the full liberation. But as Trump told you, no violence. You are to be peace, use the heart and the brain, no violence. So any violent protests that you're seeing in America, these are not done by good consciousness people. And we're it's also taken you it's taken you the Trump timeline converges to the people because we have so many that was exposing the real darkness and everything that was occurring. They were doing this job, the Trump team and the ground team, the military, were assisting to do this groundwork so we could have this, what I'm speaking about now. You could not have this before uh, because of all the control. So what Trump's team and all of the military have done, they have subdued, let's say, the darkness and revealed and exposed them enough so that now us, the people, put our focus on creating this new while the rest of the things get cleaned up on that lower timeline. Now, I don't wish to go into this much at all because, again, this is being cleaned up. It frees the people that were part of this and they converge up into this ultimate what we are creating. And believe me, there's much distortion was in that lower timeline, much confusion. Just go with your heart. You know what's right, but you also know what I'm speaking about is coming. So the path has been cleared for this to come by all the work that everyone has been doing, especially with Trump. You know, everyone globally was watching what was occurring there, and there's still more to come. But what I'm saying, we have enough. We don't need to know any more about this right now. We don't need to know more to take this forward. We know enough about this that this is materializing very quickly. And what you do, you know, as we go forward, we can just show the people over the next couple months, we can show them very quickly why the people had to do this. This is, you know, why with what's being exposed with the Trump timeline. So you're getting your confirmation, and it cannot be refuted, denied by any human, you know, what's coming out. As I said, the truth is completely out there. Um, I'll say completely out there because it is out there. It's just not completely released to the public yet. But as you know, there's a lot more to come. But it's been substantial what's been put out there. And really, with this system, we don't need to finger point at the bad guys because the bad guys cannot exist in the people's system that is good. And um, because of the way that the money is created, there is no monetary crime, there is no greed, because what we're doing, it's everyone sharing an abundance of money is what it is. And it makes no sense for one to try to steal from another when they actually have everything they need anyway. And if they do steal from another, well, the other just gets it freely. So it makes it nonsense as well. So you don't have this greed and crime. Your crime drops substantially, and things become so easy. And it will amaze you. And when you take the time to open your mind and look at it, how one simple thing, the control of money, when you change that to do everything good with money, it takes care of so many other problems that were there. It provides the solution. So once we steer the control of money by sharing that control with the people, then it cures many, many things very rapidly. And again, that's the beauty of this, and this is the humane thing to do for humanity. We're giving abundance. We are creating it for everyone. So we're not causing beggars in the street, people starving in the streets. We are creating abundance and comfort for everyone. So again, the people are the dominant timeline. So everything what's happening is the lower timeline playing out, crumbling very quickly because we are in the detachment process going to this new world. So This is the separation phase. So everything with Trump, all of the evil ones, they are going to be separated. The ones that Trump and them were exposing are going to be all left behind, more or less. So this is a very important separation period, and really they are left behind due to their choices. It's energetically taken care of from a divine level because they had their choices a long while ago and they chose not to do things. So, anyways. Ah, yeah, the old system, not repairable. We just got to throw that whole thing in the garbage. All of that paperwork, take it out and burn it. For going forward, we only need a few pages for this reality. You don't need you don't need all of the old system, and it's no use to even attempt. It was not any use to even attempt the old system because it was not foundation in merit and integrity and in truth. The whole old system, even your monetary systems, were always designed to have control of the value in the money. So what we're doing with this, no, we are opening that up and we're giving that equal control to every person with this. So the old ways, no, just drop them all. Don't waste time trying to research them, looking for loopholes out of them because what I can tell you is that they have nullified and negated themselves, all of their laws, everything, because they have uh, uh, created over stringency, and then what they began to do is began to contradict their laws, where one law would contradict another. So they actually imploded all of their system. It is where it becomes biased. It doesn't become a just system that is fair to unbiasedly um, uh, create a decision. So it's all rendered void. The entire international law, every legal system within every country, it has no merit. It has contradicted itself. So in these times, you must go back to the people's law, the common law. So how are we doing, everyone? Is this pretty consistent? Just do a check again. Can someone just let me know if you're hearing everything good? Thank you. Oh, well, I'll continue. See, one of the things is, thank you, Sonia. One of the things with I and Femke as well, we're not constant in time, the same as all of you. And what occurs in reality, it causes disruptions in linear time. And I'd put a photo out of some snow in a video of it to demonstrate that, where you could see one particle actually made a long line. And this is because we're not constant in time. And Femke and I, we create the space where we're not, that we are in actually many places in time at once. So this also affects electronics too. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Everyone's hearing me good. thank you. Much love and much gratitude for that feedback. Um, so at this point, I will say anyone wanting to do interviews that you have large audiences, or even it doesn't matter if you feel to do interviews, the audience doesn't need to be large. Uh, just please send me a message and I'll be glad to do it to speak on this topic. So, right now, yes, I'm an Ascension teacher and so much more, but it's important that we focus on this project for all of humanity and creating this new altogether. So information sessions, is great to speak to your audiences or what have you. So at this time, I'm open for interviews with anyone, and it would be great, with the bigger, uh, wider audience ones as well. So please assist me in getting the word out and to let them know I'm available and that yes, this is serious and in very good ways, and I've taken it upon myself and them as well to be the leaders in doing this and assisting all and making this happen. The time is now, and this is also you know a part of our divine mission here. So we are doing that. And having said that, I strongly suggest for every one of you uh, to understand that we are in the amazing times and that there's nothing for any one of you to fear. And stand up, put your voice out there, and just keep going forward to where we're going forward to, which is the good, empowered place for everyone. So don't restrict yourself by past fears. Speak freely online as as you've been doing, and get the word out to everyone. And this assists with this overall transition for humanity as well. And so, yeah, keep doing that. The freedom flights. Now, this is important. So, apparently, to my last update, there is at least two airlines globally that are perhaps or will be flying you globally to certain areas. You do not require a vaccine, you do not require masks, you do not require any testing with this airline. Um, so it's the free airline, and at this time, I need to say what you are going to find is that all airlines will have to be this way as well in the near future. And one of the reasons why I say this, which is you're seeing the confirmations already come out, is that the majority of ones are not getting this vaccine because they know the truth. And where you have the majority upon the planet not getting the vaccine, this also shows you that these airlines cannot discriminate through one that is not vaccinated because, again, the majority rules. So these are very important numbers you are seeing even in the mainstream where the majority uh, are not getting these vaccines as well, but it also because they know the truth. So you have this right now. You have the Freedom flights. I forget the name of it. It's a yellow. If you look in the Global People's Monetary Group, as I said, you'll scroll down. There's not too many posts. You'll see a yellow post about the flights where you can get a membership um, to join that group to help support and fund it so we can get more flexibility if we need it in this now of flights going to different countries for all of us, all of you that is doing this higher humanitarian work. So just wishing to share that with you again. And again, just reiterating at this time, we are going to accept on the petition the consent from children at least down to 12 years of age. Because with this petition, this choice, as I said, it becomes a no brainer, and it's also given a huge, let's say, it's given a voice to perhaps 1.5 billion children, or a billion, and it's given them a voice to have a say in their future, saying, no, we want the free abundance and prosperity, that we don't want to be living in poverty and in lack and starvation and misery. So we are giving them as well their voice to assist with us all together to create this beautiful future for them. So, and they need to be a part of this. They need to have this voice. And as I said, this global system that I'm proposing, it's very simple. Even a child would know that they want this choice to liberate them so that they are not condemned to a future that was there, that if we did not do this, that would remain there to some degree. So you are actually setting your children free, your whole family. Everyone needs to sign this, to autograph it, to support it. And again, it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. If you're rich, please support the rest of the people. Do what is humane. It's no longer about yourself. So please assist everyone and do the good and right things. Thank you. Also, again, any politicians looking at this, any police, any of you, any bankers, do the right thing and support this now and support the people. Enough is enough. So there we go. Enough is enough, I guess. So that's great for this, and thank you so much for uh, listening. And again, please share, and let's keep taking this viral. We got everything coming together. We have our team is growing. We're just bit by bit, as we get something done, then we're growing things more and more. And this is all of you, all of us, also connecting together. Connect with your like minded groups, say, this is the global peoples thing. Look at your group. Okay, what can we do to assist and make this happen quicker? Perhaps we can start a campaign here in the Netherlands. If you are, get the information out, letting everyone know that they have this option, this choice to complete freedom. And I don't really like to say the vote, but by putting their signature is a vote for it. And when you have, as I said, globally, this is a global referendum, really, a global vote. And when you have that done on the global scale, it matters not what one country does. And if any country neglects its people or takes measures from preventing them from being informed about this, then very quickly it implicates the governments or what have you there. And in the near futures, what occurs is that these governments, if they try to prevent it, they become, let's say, not the enemy of all the people, but what occurs is their own people within the country, because everything is connected, and they no longer remain, and they cannot. So, let's say one country doesn't support it, this government, but what happens, like what they did, were doing in France, they were showing, well, if this is the government that's against the people, they just cement it all in, and us, the people, We create this over here, so it doesn't matter what they do. They have no power, the government, so they can go and do their own thing, make up laws, but none of it works because we are the people. We are the dominant voice, and we have joined all together globally. And the global unified voice is nothing can go against that. And the time is right in this great awakening. Very rapidly, so many more are awakening. We have the higher consciousness professionals awakened to assist with um, humanity at guiding them forward with our abundance, opened in compassion, and working together in creating very good things very rapidly. So it's a very harmonious thing. It's what all of humanity wants, and very soon you won't need to be in a place to see a child crying on a street or begging for money for food or even children dying and all of this. We wipe it all out. Everywhere you go, you see happy, smiley faces. And, it's time that we did this. So, governments were not going to do it. Bankers were not going to do it because they had an agenda and ill intent. And we are the people which are the majority upon the planet. We have a good intent from our heart for all to enjoy abundance. And again, it's very simple, and this is logical. I've kept it in the most logical layman's terms, if you will, or the unawakened terms that I could, so everyone can see how this is so readily and easily achievable and how it's fully possible and it's plausible and it's imminent. And also to share with all of you, it would be absolute insanity. It would be absurd for someone not to support their full freedom. And it would also, for someone not to support it, would also show more of their intent, what they actually have, which, could be selfish or what have you, which is not in alignment with the majority of the good people upon the planet. So, thank you all for this time, and check out, they had put it up in the comments, the initial group where we are gathering ones. We have the website and the petition site to gather autograph signatures coming shortly. Get informed. There's a simplified divine plan, it's called. Uh, we what we put out there, what I spoke about. Understand that the plan is only a draft, that as we go forward in community, we work all together to assure that everyone's interests are taken care of. So the draft is only a guideline to get us to this step with some things about how later on that we can think tank so that we can appease the majority with it to make everything harmonious. So we're about the solution. So we gave you just a guideline, we gave you a draft, a guideline. First thing, we just need the consent to create the free monetary system for humanity. Then, very quickly, this money is not only dispersed to each individual, it's dispersed to all of the companies, the relevant companies, industries that we need to generate efficiency for what we need to go forward without a profit and a gain. Also, as I said, all humanitarian projects are covered fully and even beyond anything imaginable by um, the RV, Jacera, Nasara things, because with this, we instantly, worldwide, create all the money for the individuals in every project, not a selected few where you need a humanitarian um, um, plan in place. We just go and we do everything at once. We began to do it. So it's not restricted. This is above the RV, Jacera, Nacera. It's above present wealth upon the planet because we're creating instant wealth for all. And we can do that. And having said this, whereas all of the infrastructure, technical and digital and internet, it exists because the people contributed to make it exist. But it also exists because the people are here. So you do have a direct ownership in it. And this is the correct way that it is, because it would not exist if you did not, without making it complicated. So we all share in everything, pretty much, except your own little personal items or what have you. So we share in everything globally. So we don't, using services like here very shortly, like if you need a flight, well, we own the airlines. So you don't need to pay for a flight. It becomes nonsense. You're only paying yourself. So with any company worldwide, this is also what we do. They don't need money. They don't need to make a profit or a gain. They just merely supply a service. But their employees that would be supplying the service are paid from all of us to supply that. So there is no accounting that needs to be done with any company. It's only this providence of service. So I could go a little bit further, but that's enough. Uh, Thank you fully. Please share. Kisses, love to all of humanity. And I have to say, I'm just so excited and happy. It's been a long and arduous, tedious journey over the last 10 years, assisting in revealing to the planet all of the deception, all of the lies, to bring us now to this area where the window has opened up for all, for the hope, the reality, and in the truth. And now is the time. We have reached it. We are there. So, woohoo! Love and light. Many winks. And we'll see you soon. Thank you.